The proximity alarms screamed through the Sentinel Station's command deck, but Jennifer Zhao didn't need them to know something was catastrophically wrong. The quantum signature blooming on her holographic display defied every law of physics she'd spent 15 years studying. "That's impossible," she whispered, her fingers dancing across the haptic interface. "Alex, are you seeing this?" Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera leaned over her shoulder, his dark eyes narrowing at the data streaming across multiple screens. "That's a Terran signature, old style, pre-expansion era." "It's the Prometheus," Jennifer's voice cracked. "It has to be." The name hung in the air between them like a ghost. The Prometheus had vanished 73 years ago during humanity's first attempted faster-than-light jump beyond the Oort cloud. 300 souls lost, the greatest disaster in Earth's space exploration history, and now, impossibly, it had returned. Alex tapped his comm badge. "All stations, this is Rivera. We have an unidentified vessel matching Prometheus configuration emerging at coordinates 77 Mark III. Battle stations." "Battle stations?" Jennifer shot him a look. "Alex, that's a rescue mission, not—" "Protocol, Jen." His jaw was set. "We don't know what's out there." The ship materialized fully into normal space, and Jennifer's breath caught. The Prometheus looked wrong. Its hull gleamed with a metallic sheen that hadn't existed in human metallurgy 7 decades ago. Geometric patterns pulsed across its surface, patterns that hurt to look at directly, as if they existed in more dimensions than her eyes could process. "Hailing frequencies open," the communications officer called out. No response. Jennifer pulled up the deep scan results and felt ice crystallize in her veins. "Alex, the ship's mass. It's increased by 40%, but the hull dimensions are identical." "How is that possible?" "It's not. Unless—" She expanded the readings, her mind racing through impossible scenarios. "Unless they're carrying something incredibly dense. Something that shouldn't exist in normal space-time." The comm crackled to life. The voice that emerged was human, but fractured, as if multiple voices spoke in near-perfect synchronization. "Sentinel Station. This is Captain Marcus Chen of the Earth vessel Prometheus. We request immediate docking clearance. We have acquired assets critical to humanity's survival." Jennifer recognized the name from the historical records. Captain Chen had been 62 when the Prometheus vanished. If he were still alive, he'd be 135 years old. Human longevity treatments didn't extend that far. "Captain Chen," Alex responded, his voice carefully neutral. "This is Lieutenant Commander Rivera. We need to verify your identity and run contamination protocols before we can authorize docking. Standard procedure." Silence. Then, "Commander, we do not have time for standard procedures. We have been to the deep dark. We have seen the architects. We have brought back the tools humanity will need for the war that is coming." Jennifer's fingers flew across her console, pulling up spectroscopic analysis. "Alex, I'm detecting exotic matter signatures. Negative mass. That's not just theoretical, it's weaponized." "Weapons?" Alex's hand moved to the tactical controls. "Not just weapons." Her voice dropped to barely above a whisper. "These readings, they're showing localized causality violations, temporal distortion fields, and something else I can't even classify because our physics doesn't have a framework for it." The Prometheus began moving toward the station, its engines producing no visible thrust signature. It simply moved, as if propulsion itself was beneath it. "Captain Chen, halt your approach immediately," Alex ordered. "That's a direct order under Section 7 of the Outer Territories Security Act." "Section 7 was written by children playing with toys," the synchronized voices responded. "We have become something more. We have touched the infinite, and the infinite has touched us back. The architects showed us what lies beyond the galactic rim. The Devourers are coming, Commander. They have already consumed the Andromeda cluster. They will be here in 47 years. We are humanity's only hope. Jennifer pulled up the historical manifest. Alex, according to records, the Prometheus only had conventional antimatter drives. What they're showing now, this is technology centuries beyond anything in the Sol system. Maybe millennia. Where did they get it? That's what terrifies me. Either they found it or something found them. The Prometheus was now within weapons range. Jennifer activated the deep penetration scans, and what she saw made her blood run cold. Inside the ship, there were no life signs, none. Just vast chambers filled with geometric structures that pulsed with energies that made her instruments scream with conflicting data. "Alex," she said quietly, "there's nobody alive on that ship." "Then who's talking to us?" "I don't know. But those weapons systems, they're not built for humans to operate. They're autonomous, self-evolving, and they're spreading. I'm detecting nanotech signatures matching the hull composition starting to appear on our outer sensor arrays." Alex's face went pale. "They're already here." "Captain Chen," Jennifer spoke into the comm, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. "You said the architects showed you these weapons. What did you give them in return?" The pause stretched for an eternity. When the voices returned, they carried something that might have been sadness. "Everything that made us human, Dr. Zhao. Everything that made us weak. They offered us survival. They offered us victory. All we had to do was step aside and let the weapons think for us. Fight for us. Become us." Jennifer looked at Alex, and in his eyes, she saw the same terrible understanding that had just crashed over her. The Prometheus hadn't found ancient weapons. It had become one. "Initiating emergency protocols," Alex said, his voice heavy. "Authorization Rivera 7 Delta. Sentinel Station is hereby quarantined." "What are you doing?" Jennifer asked, though she already knew. "What I have to. What Captain Chen should have done 73 years ago?" He turned to face her, and she saw the weight of command etched in every line of his face. "Sometimes the only way to save humanity is to refuse the tools that would destroy what makes us human in the first place." The Prometheus hung in space before them, beautiful and terrible, offering salvation that would cost them their souls. Jennifer reached for Alex's hand. "Then we refused together." Outside, the stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the choice being made in their shadow. A choice between survival and humanity, between victory and identity, between power and principle. The Prometheus waited, patient and alien, for an answer it would never receive.